Welcome back, folks. Dow Industrials up 149, Nasdaq up 21, S&P's up 9.5. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Darrell Martin from Apex Investing. Darrell Martin, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Yourself?
Doing fantastic.
Good morning, Darrell.
How's that beautiful state of Texas doing?
It's doing good. We're supposed to actually get some rain here in a couple days, which will be nice. It's been a drought out here.
Yeah, you're going to need some rain. It
seems like everywhere right now. Florida gets a lot of rain, but we have so much heat and humidity. But Boston, the heat, Northeast, the heat,
yeah.
Let alone what's going on out west.
California,
Man. Yeah.
bad scene.
Yeah, I know. We've been fires all over Texas, all over California. It's been absolutely crazy.
Wow. So when we start talking, I know that John is going to be doing a webinar over at the Nadex site on Thursday. And we're talking basically trading binaries at night. So talk to us about this.
Well, a lot of traders come in and, they're getting started. And, they, a lot of times they'll work a full-time job.
Sure.
And so they're looking to, trade in the evening. And so he's going to go through, some of the things to consider when you're trading, some of the things to avoid when you're trading at night. And, lay out a couple of strategies and ideas to get people going, what instruments to look at. And, what are some of the ways that you can actually, use binaries when trading them in the evening? Because it's a little different session with the Asian session.
Sure. And what's really cool, actually, is that depending what time zone you're in, I mean, it gets active on the Eastern time zone, what, about 9, 10 o'clock at night? That's when Asia opens, right? And then from there, you can really stay busy all night.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of hours where you get usually a pretty good amount of volume almost consistently.
Okay.
And then you watch news to see sort of when the markets, obviously when if Japan's announcing something or Australia's announcing something, whatever, then even New Zealand, which can, move the Aussie, all that stuff, when they're making announcements, that'll cause more volatility for you when you're trading in the evening. And so he'll talk about, what to look for and how that can sort of help you see when there's going to be potentially more volatility to be expected. And then, also just sort of the hours to look at. And, there's also not just nighttime, there's the overnight session, when you go to the European session as well.
Yes, yeah. And these currencies have been moving, man. There's no doubt, man. It's like, there's
we're starting to get like 40 and 60 and 80 and 100 pip moves, like, more on a consistent basis now. It's been really nice.
You got to be careful. Before you know it, you'll be Larry Pesavento sleeping at your desk trading forex at 2 in the morning.
I know.
I can.
Yeah, falling asleep right there at the desk, right?
Right.
No, but there is. I get home sometimes and I'll turn on the TV, maybe, making some dinner, and Bloomberg will be on maybe from the morning. And guess what, man? Asia session's starting, and there's a lot happening, right? Let alone if you make it up until when Europe is right there. But there really is. It's if you,
I know, and you get all excited and you hop on. You're like, I'm just gonna, check it out. And then all of a sudden, there's a trade. There's a trade.
Right.
Yeah,
no, and things start, especially around those opens when things move, for sure.
Yeah, it's a 24-hour market.
It is.
You have lulls in between it, but there's no doubt. And it seems, which is pretty cool, Japan can make a couple announcements that are like really move markets, and it seems like wherever that yen goes, that starts moving the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like. Yeah, Australia, that their dollar's been having a hard time. That's that whole commodity deal. Do you know what I mean? If China's going to buy less commodities, it looks like the Australian dollar is getting weaker, wants to stay weaker. But bottom line is that there's only so many commodities. So yeah,
right.
So what else are we looking at this week, Darrell?
Well, this week, obviously, there's always a lot of different things we can check out, and I'm playing the indices a lot this week.
Okay.
So just looking for, we've had some really good movement on indices lately, and especially for summer. Y'all notice that being August and still getting some really good moves that we can take.
We were talking about it a little bit with Kevin Hicks when he was on, just saying, it's summer trading, but it's not quite looking like summer trading. So with the types of moves that we can get.
We've had like a couple weeks of summer, but I mean, this like August is almost starting to feel like September. That's what I'm hoping it's going to be like.
No, there's no doubt, man. It's hard to comprehend that it's August 7th right now.
It is.
It didn't flatten out like it does.
Summer's going to be.
And guess what?
The kids are back. Right? They're back in school like right now.
Next Monday they go back.
Man,
all of Florida.
They get them back early in Florida.
They do. And then the Northeast. I'm not sure when it was still Labor Day.
It's after Labor Day, right?
Yeah,
I think it's after Labor Day, isn't it?
It used to be a Thursday after Labor Day
for them. Yeah.
But that's where you can really start getting some volatility in the market, and
there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah,
I mean, of course, the FOMC here, right? Just had a meeting, another rate coming, all that. You have the trade talk that really, I think, has allowed the summer to fly by, because there's always
yeah.
been a big moving factor of whether it's fear or fear subsiding and the other side. And then you're going to have an election coming up.
Right.
And then we've had earnings. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Time flies.
Well, we got basically some of the things coming up this week as well. On the FX front, we got the New Zealand dollar doing their interest rate tomorrow, which ought to help liven up the whole Asian markets going. So when they open back up at 6 and over on Nadex, so if you're looking to trade those, you got the Aussie and the yen that will be highly impacted by that. A couple other things to check out is we're going to have the U.S. PPI on Thursday, so that can have a nice little impact on indices. And then the Aussies actually have their rate statement. So, that's coming out, I want to say 9:30 in August. So 9:30 p.m. on August 9th. And so that, again, will cause some more volatility this week. And then over on Friday, we're going to have, earlier in the morning, we're going to have the GDP for Britain, which with Brexit and everything else ought to, hopefully, open up some additional volatility to take advantage of.
Ooh, that's going to get interesting, that as we keep getting closer, to this aspect of, okay, what is the pound going to do? What is Britain actually going to do, right? Right
now, and with that, everybody's going to really start paying a lot more attention to all their numbers coming out.
Yeah.
So, which I think is great. As a trader, it's like one of the things I've learned to do is it's not so much like trade the news as it is like, okay, be aware of what announcements are coming out, but also be aware what's in the news.
Yes.
So if Brexit's in the news a lot, then obviously when news announcements come out, that's going to just amplify the impact. And if you can use a capped risk product to trade it,
right,
well, then that creates a lot of good trading opportunities for you.
Yeah.
And so, being aware of what's in the news a whole lot, and OPEC's in the news a whole lot, then you got oil, right? We got oil inventories tomorrow as well. What's that, 10:30 tomorrow?
Yes.
So, but I mean, just, when there's things that are in the news a whole lot, then that lets you be aware of, like, people, traders are trying to find the volatility. Because sometimes it's in the FX market, sometimes it's in the commodity market or gold or indices.
No, that's a great point, because, I was looking at the oil market today, right? Okay, so they had the sanctions that start on Iran last night at midnight, right?
Yep.
The oil sanctions are going to start in November, and oil still can't move. So that's telling me that, oil is bearish, because it's like, oh, man, this is going to happen, So you're talking about, what, another 70 days? It's like, okay,
exactly.
Oil should be moving. I mean, that's where you could take the news and say, okay, this is what has happened. It's real, but yet the market is saying, well, we get a lot of oil here.
Yeah.
And our man Jason Path, we get a new program starting at 8:30, and he's a big data guy. That's pretty cool. I mean, there's never been so much oil in storage. So it's like,
when you look at some of these prices.
Yeah,
what
right.
happens, right?
Yeah, Jason is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cooking, brother.
All right, man. Y'all have a great one.
You have a
Awesome.
great one.
Thanks,
You have
Darrell.
a safe one. And listen, folks, you can come over to our website at TFNN. You go right under Nadex Market News. You're going to see our man, Mr. John Skelton. He's going to be doing that workshop for you August 9th, 1 p.m. Tommy and I come right back, folks.